Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, Vice President Leni Robredo questioning the science behind the decision to allow the reopening of cinemas and leisure activities. The Metro Manila mayors deferred the reopening of cinemas until they meet this week. A recent survey shows Filipinos are the most disapproving of their government's pandemic response among ASEAN countries. And the government says there will be a slight delay in the delivery of 117,000 doses of Pfizer vaccines to the country. Interagency Task Force Co-Chair and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles joins us live. Metro Manila mayors have decided to defer the reopening of cinemas. That's according to Metro Manila Council Chairman Edwin Olivares. The Metro Manila Council set to meet on Wednesday to discuss the mayor's reservations over the latest Interagency Task Force resolution on reopening cinemas and other leisure businesses. On Friday, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said cinemas, game arcades, and other leisure activities in areas under general community quarantine will be allowed to reopen. That's beginning today. Mayor Edwin Olivares spoke to New Day earlier, and he says these establishments will remain closed until they've cleared the issue with the IATF. Meanwhile, Olivares says the increased venue capacity for religious gatherings of 50% is a go. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Interagency Task Force Co-Chair and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. Secretary Nograles, welcome to the source. Good to have you again.
Magandang umaga. Good morning, Pinky. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Please clarify this for us because it's already quite confusing. The IATF says cinemas could or should open by today, but now the Metro Manila mayors are saying, no, they're not going to open. We are opposing this. We need to meet first before this can actually happen. So what is the status now?
Well, right now, actually, when we released resolution number 99, nakalagay naman doon na subject to issuance of implementing guidelines, providing for the operational capacity and the oversight of the appropriate agency, kasama na dyan ng LGU, we have decided to reopen and further expand driving schools, cinemas, arcades, libraries, archives, museums, cultural centers, MICE events, etc. No? So, ibig sabihin, meron pa namang kailangan ayusin ng mga guidelines, ifa-finalize pa natin. And that's where we are right now. No? Just to make sure na mahigpit ang ating mga protocols, safety and health protocols. And we hope that the Metro Manila mayors will be able to join us, the technical working group, in finalizing these guidelines. I would also like to emphasize, Pinky, no, na dun sa MGCQ areas, matagal na po natin binuksan 50% operational capacity ng mga cinemas in MGCQ areas. Right. And so far, we've not seen any super spreader events happening in cinemas in MGCQ areas. So ibig sabihin, meron na po tayong basis. And that was the reason why the IATF decided. No? But again, it's subject to the finalization of the implementing guidelines. And now that the NCR mayors have made the statement, we invite them, no, to join us in finalizing the implementing guidelines as far as NCR is concerned, in order for us to tighten some more the guidelines. But at the end of the day, I also heard naman the NCR mayor saying that they also understand the need to reopen the economy. Kasi at the end of the day, ang bottom line naman dito, Pinky, is hanap buhay, no? And I saw somewhere that we're really talking here about 300,000 jobs.
I saw that too.
300,000 jobs pagdating dito sa area na ito, no? Sa sector na ito.
I did read that as well. Secretary, sabi nga additional 300,000 jobs yan. And understandably, this is also obviously to reopen the economy and spur economic growth and move activity around and money around as well. But I have a lot of questions with what you said. First is, if it was subject to guidelines to begin with, why was there a set date that the cinemas could open on Feb 15. And another follow-up to that it already said that they would open Feb 15 at 50% capacity. Why were such statements, I guess that's my question, issued without having consulted the LGUs or the mayors of NCR?
Well, actually, dun sa IATF naman, we are represented also by MMDA. Actually, one of the mayors was present there, no? And I don't know kasi if we can divulge the name of the mayor who was present, no? But anyway, may representation from the mayors para mabigay para makuha namin yung sentimiento ng MMDA pati ng representative ng mayors. But there was also an agreement that it would be brought back to the Metro Manila mayors at mapag-usapan din po itong mga decisions ng IATF. Kanya nga po meron dun subject to the guidelines. It was our understanding after that decision was made nung Thursday that magkakaroon ng pagpupulong at magpag-meeting ang mga mayors. And yun na nga, we gave naman the LGUs naman, particularly the NCR mayors, have oversight naman, no, in terms of the implementation of the guidelines din, no, that we will be setting. By the way, the one leading also yung pag-set ng guidelines is the Department of Health. So we can be assured that health protocols will be really considered and in fact prioritized when we finalize the guidelines.
So where are the guidelines now coming from the Department of Health? Has it been issued?
Siguro that's the reason why sinabi Feb 15 because it's really something that we want to do ASAP kasi nga there's an urgency of opening the economy and bringing back lives and livelihoods, ano. So my assumption was, because it was a long weekend, I presume that today, Feb 15, mafa-finalize yung mga guidelines na iyan. And hopefully we can get the Metro Manila mayors also on board because I heard that they have a meeting on Wednesday.
That's right.
Di po ba?
Yes.
So I think it's just really a balancing.
Yeah.
And I believe that the suspension of the implementation that they are saying is tama naman din, no, because wala pa naman yung talagang
guidelines.
The guidelines.
Yeah.
Oo. So and hopefully siguro pag maging maliwanag na ang mga safety and health protocols that will be done inside the cinemas, then I think they'll be more open.
Right.
Naman.
But Secretary Nograles, wouldn't it have been better if the IATF had come out with this saying that it's been approved that cinemas, arcades, museums, and the like will start to reopen, but subject to the guidelines set forth by the DOH and the LGU. I do have to say that I agree with you. Nakasulat din dun po talaga subject to guidelines. Kaya lang, nagkaroon ho talaga ng kalituhan kasi lumalabas Feb 15, supposed to be, sir, magbubukas na po itong mga to. Nagkaroon ho kasi ng Feb 15 na petsa.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand what you're saying. But again, perhaps it came out because nga there was an urgency of opening it up, and I presume that Feb 15 today is when the guidelines will be out.
So hintayin po natin yung guidelines from the DOH.
Yes.
Yun po una eh. Kasi if the Metro Manila mayors are to meet on Wednesday, tsaka pa po nila yun pag-uusapan, and I'm assuming, sir, dun po nila mapag-uusapan yung guidelines set forth by the DOH if it comes out today.
Well, kasi pag TWG kasi, we really delegate that to them, no? And DOH is taking the lead as far as the guideline setting is concerned. So that's DOH and DTI would be in there, and then hopefully they can get some more people in, like MMDA perhaps, no. So parang pinaubayan na namin sa kanila sa technical working group, and they've been really working on this naman. They've been, in fact, as far as the procedure of our decisions are concerned, we have a technical working group that really is made up basically of all the agencies that make up the IATF as well. And then pinag-uusapan na nila doon preliminarily. And then sa kanila iakyat sa IATF. So pagdating sa IATF, magdedesisyon na kami. But marami nang napag-usapan doon.
Opo.
At kasama sa napag-usapan doon, yung mga nagawa na sa mga MGCQ areas as far as protocols are concerned. Kasi nag-50% na rin po tayo sa mga cinema sa MGCQ.
Right.
So kumbaga, konting tweaking na lang siguro yan. But it's already being done in MGCQ areas. So I think today would probably be just to get the inputs from the Metro Manila mayors, maybe even just clarify what we've been doing sa MGCQ areas. And perhaps by then, mas mako-convince natin yung mga Metro Manila mayors. I guess it's just, kasi syempre bago, it's a new decision and it takes some time for them to really get used to it. Whereas in the MGCQ areas, sanay na sila doon. So here in Metro Manila, they're more used to being more restrictive, but we cannot afford to go on like this forever.
Okay, so
alam mo yun, it's 2021. It's been 1 year already since the first case of the Wuhan, the tourist from Wuhan,
right,
who got the virus. So it's already 1 year, and we can't afford to just let it just be the same as far as economic activity and jobs are concerned.
Okay, so to be clear about this, Secretary Carlo, hindi pa po siya implemented today.
Well, if the NCR mayors will not implement, and because wala pang guidelines na nilalabas, then not today. Not today.
Okay,
Then,
until...
but hopefully soon, no? Like for instance, sa simbahan, no? We already made a decision na yung we would be relaxing yung sa mass effective today, Feb 15.
50%.
Oo, yung 50% for religious
activities.
Gatherings.
Yeah.
Oo.
So I think wala po silang opposition doon. Pero mukhang
good.
maraming nag-o-oppose. So there are voices opposing this cinemas and the like, sir. I wanted to ask you, Secretary Nograles, was this based on science? It's a question I asked that was also asked by Vice President Leni Robredo. Yun ho bang pagdesisyon to open the economy, such as these industries, was this based on science?
Yes, the science of health and the science of economics. Basically, syempre, we've also the science of experience as well. Because sa MGCQ areas, like I said, it's already 50% in cinemas capacity for MGCQ areas. And di hamak, mas malawak yung MGCQ areas kesa sa GCQ areas now. So we've not seen super spreader events in those cinemas. And protocols have been set there. And the distancing measures have been set there. And again, that's as far as the experience is concerned sa MGCQ areas. So if we will just follow the same protocols, or even if they want to tighten it some more, we can tighten it some more sa GCQ areas. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then as far as economics is concerned, jobs, no, that's really something that we really want to push some more to get more people employed. And then as far as the health protocols are concerned, again, like I said, it's DOH and DTI who are leading that team in terms of finalizing the guidelines for cinemas for GCQ areas. So basically, it's really a team effort. And now that Metro Manila mayors want to input also their suggestions, then by all means, because at the end of the day, it's the local government units naman that will be exercising oversight.
Right. There is also a comment from Senator Mig Zubiri. He's not for this opening ng 50% dahil daw nakakatakot pa rin to. But we're going to talk about that. We need to take a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Interagency Task Force Co-Chair Carlo Nograles. Secretary, I was talking about a reaction from Senator Mig Zubiri prior to the break. He actually said that wag muna daw siguro, sabi niya, 50% capacity dahil nakakatakot pa rin yan. Sa sinehan, 50%, medyo puno pa rin yan. Kung may umubo or humatching, napaka-delikado niyan. Magiging super spreader yan. So, let's talk about this in terms of what you said under MGCQ areas where cinemas are open already. And sabi niyo po, this obviously has not proven to be a super spreader. But there are concerns that under GCQ, which is the stricter quarantine classification, this could be a super spreader.
Well, syempre, pag may symptoms check yan, no? That's also part of the protocol there. Kung meron mga nag-exhibit ng symptoms dyan, hindi papapasukin yan, number one. Number two, pag may nag-manifest ng symptoms din dyan, then the cinema owners or the managers can also ask them to leave the cinema. No? Number three, one analogy that's also being used is, first of all, these establishments, if you put in the proper procedures and protocols, na ma-manage naman yan. No? In fact, nako-control yung environment dyan. It's something that's within the control as long as the protocols are in place, and the managers, as far as the management side is concerned, they will just stick to the protocols and follow it very strictly. That's number one. Number two, I think 1 year that we're battling this virus, I think ang mga tao rin naman that would go to the cinemas and patronize the cinemas would also be very much aware of the need to follow established protocols. After 1 year of battling this virus, people already are aware of the risks and they're aware of how to manage and control the risks. No? Number three, ang isa pang analogy na tinitingnan dyan yung sa workplace, di ba? So even in workplaces, DTI has been able to establish also certain protocols within the workplace. And in fact, in the workplace, mas mahabang oras pa nga yan. Diba? In the cinema, they say, wow, 2 hours yan.
1.5 hours to 2
hours yan.
Yeah.
But in a workplace, under rin yan, that's about 8 hours work.
Yeah.
At an 8-hour workday, 6 to 8-hour workday. But again, we don't see any super spreaders because maganda naman ang when controlled environments, kumbaga, are managed correctly, then it does not become a super spreader. And I think that involves both in the management side and participation also of the employee side. No? So the same thing sa cinemas, if the management sticks to the protocols and manages it very cleanly, clearly, and tightly, and in the same manner, the patrons also are aware of the need for these protocols. I think hand in hand, I think that ensures, no, the very least na hindi magkakaroon ng super spreader events sa mga places like that.
Right.
No? So kasama na dyan yung ventilation, kasama na dyan yung the cleaning of the facilities, disinfection of the facilities,
after
social
every
distancing.
movie, no? Okay.
Yeah. And I understand the certain resistance, I guess, because you're moving into something that's new.
Yeah.
Diba? But at this point kasi, Pinky, nandito na tayo sa risk. It's risk management already. Wala na tayo sa risk aversion, especially with the coming of the vaccines.
Okay.
I think it's really time to bounce back the economy. And we'll have this struggle, I guess, from people who won't be open at the start. But once you start doing things and they see naman that it's okay,
it's
then
safe. Yeah.
It's safe. Yeah, they'll open some more.
Pero,
it's just like the immunization. You know, once people are resistant, but once you start rolling out the immunization or vaccination program, they'll be more open to it.
Just a couple of last questions on this. We need to move on to another topic, Secretary. But ang tinuturo ho kasi sa atin as much as possible, hindi ho ba? As much as possible, wag tayo doon sa enclosed areas. Tama po kayo, sinabi niyo, there are concerns. This is going to be 1.5, 2 hours in a movie house. So meron ho talagang concern about that. Ito ho bang 50% na occupancy rate, yun pa rin ho ba talagang nakikita ng IATF? While you are consistently saying that this is happening under MGCQ, that is obviously the more lenient quarantine status, the Metro Manila right now is still under GCQ. So iba po rin yun compared sa MGCQ. So again, I'll ask that question. Meron ho kayang chance or consideration that yung 50% posibleng babaan?
It can happen. Again, like I said, it's still being finalized sa implementing guidelines. So as far as capacity is concerned, kasama rin po yan sa ifa-finalize sa implementing guidelines. So let's just wait and see kung ano yung magiging kinalabasan doon sa final output yan.
Pero very clearly, Metro Manila mayors have the right to oppose this or not to implement it. Tama ho ba?
Yes, yes, but it will have to be, of course, coordinated with our their regional IATF, which is basically the regional IATF kasi. Pagdating kasi sa sistema, the national IATF issues policies and guidelines. And then the local government units also have the authority kasi to impose localized lockdowns. So siguro ang ano ko diyan, ang thinking ko diyan, maybe even if the national IATF would say na okay na yung cinemas, but LGUs will say no, then that would be akin to a localized lockdown. But based on our rules, it's localized lockdown have to be with the concurrence and permission of the regional IATF.
Okay. No? All right. Let's move on to the vaccination program of the country. Tell us, Secretary Carlo, what is the latest? It's already February 15. Hindi po natuloy so far. I know that the Department of Health has said over and over again that the Feb 14 or Feb 15 is really just an indicative period or date. Ano po? Ibig sabihin, posibleng yon, posibleng hindi. Kailan ho ba talaga dadating yung unang batch ng vaccine? Whether it be, is it gonna be Pfizer? Is it gonna be Sinovac? Because Secretary Harry Roque was saying Feb 23 or Feb 24, posibleng dumating ang Sinovac.
Yes, that's also what I am hearing also. That's also the information that we're getting, na Sinovac will come in on Feb 23 or Feb 24. So that is as far as the Sinovac delivery is concerned. And I know that we were all hopeful that the WHO COVAX facility would be able to provide us with the Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccines within this month. No, the indicative timeline again was stated na mid-February, but basically there's just that detail of an indemnity agreement that was supposed to be finalized, and which is in the process of being finalized. So probably that's a little delay there as far as the Pfizer shipment is concerned from WHO. We've been asking about that indemnity agreement, but it was just lately na nabigay sa amin yung yung indemnity agreement, and that's really important because that pretty much finalizes
the deal,
the responsibility of manufacturers if there are any adverse effects. We've been following up on that, but wala. Last week lang binigay sa amin, so there's a back and forth lang, but we'll still get it hopefully within the month. Ang sa atin naman dito, we've been preparing already for accepting the acceptance of the shipments. No, we've been doing simulations, we've been preparing the ground, but again, there are just things that are not under our control, such as that whole indemnity agreement that we've been following up.
And I wanted to ask you though, just to be clear on that, yung pong back and forth dun sa indemnification fund, ano ho yun between the government, between the Philippines rather, and the COVAX facility? Dun po nagkaroon ng back and forth?
Yes, I think so. I think it was between, kasi I'm not also part of the negotiating panel, no?
Okay.
But the information that I got was, just the indemnity agreement na nagka-delay. So we were hoping after Valentine's, but this week sana. Pero, well, Sinovac, baka maunahan pa sila ng Sinovac. We don't know, really. But let's see. We're still following up on them, and it's really something that they have to. It's a commitment that they've given to our country, and hopefully they will fulfill that commitment. Na at the very least, sabi nila, di ba, AstraZeneca at last week of February.
Opo.
And the Pfizer was supposed to come mid-February. So if it will be delayed by 1 week, then halos baka kasabay na niya yung Sinovac pagdating.
We'll be taking another short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Interagency Task Force Co-Chair Carlo Nograles. Secretary, I just wanted to quickly ask you about this supply agreement because it was revealed na wala pa ho talagang napipirmahan na supply agreement. Ito ho ba, I guess this concerns a number of people. The basic question is, hanggang ngayon wala pa rin tayong supply agreement. What is happening?
What we've signed is term sheets, no? And the term sheets, according to Secretary Galvez, is already a commitment, kumbaga. So it's not really something to worry about because a term sheet also already commits the number of doses na magkakaroon tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Kumbaga, it's like it's already reserved to the Philippines based on those term sheets. And then the supply agreement will come forthwith. So as far as the negotiating team is concerned, when Secretary Galvez says na nagkaroon na ng term sheet agreement between these vaccines, and he's talking about several vaccines, then that means it's reserved for us. And then remember, magkakaroon pa ng approval ng FDA natin. So dadaan pa yan sa FDA natin. And I think, presumably, the supply agreement will come after all of these, what do you call this? All of these are like the FDA
EUA
approval natin. The EUA ng Emergency Use Authorization would be issued by our FDA. So there are certain conditions kumbaga that have to be met. Because these, although nagkaroon na ng term sheet agreement with the different vaccine brands, not all vaccine brands already have an EUA. So far, Pfizer pa lang at AstraZeneca.
That's right.
Kaya nga po, nung lumabas yung Pfizer at AstraZeneca, agad naman nakipag-ugnayan sa atin yung COVAX facility ng WHO, and they said that they were ready to
Yun ang
ship
kanilang papadala.
Yes. Then sa Sinovac, that's going to be issued soon.
Forthcoming.
Yung FDA ng Sinovac. And then nakapila pa yung Gamaleya and yung Moderna. And I know that all the other vaccine brands are also submitting the necessary paperwork to get their emergency use authorization ng FDA. So that's basically what happens. No, there's a term sheet agreement na parang nagkasunduan na how many vaccine doses do you need.
Right.
Ang nai-order namin, and then it passes through yung conditions, no, like the FDA approval ng kanilang EUA, and then that's where the ball gets running in terms of the signing of the supply agreement. So, pero as far as the supply is concerned, na-reserve na yon for the Philippines.
Interagency Task Force Co-Chair and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. Sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you, Pinky. And marami rin salamat sa lahat. Good morning at ingat po.
Good morning and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.